Hello everyone, this is Ecom AI Evangelist for the final presentation of the Space Finger game. Today I'm going to focus on the internal design of the last sprint of the game. To start with, the user chart story of the sprint tree. On the sprint tree, I work on the sounds effects. So as a gamer, I want to be able to mute the game sound effects so that I do not hear the sounds effect while playing the game. The second user chart that we have is as a gamer, I want to be able to unmute game sound effects so that I hear the sound effects while playing the game. So this is what it looks like on the game. So basically I have the mute sounds and the unmute sounds on the setting menu of the game. So this is the use case diagram for that. Basically, the player is able to press on the setting menu, and whenever you press on the setting menu, it includes the mute sound and unmute sound of the game. So here is the sequence diagram. So basically, the player can launch the game and press on start. Whenever you press on start, the game is rendered with the setting menu. When the gamer decides to press on the setting menu, he can mute or unmute the game, and whenever he press on one of those, the game is muted. So for the class diagram here, so the game panel actually has all the methods that implement the mute effects of the game. And for the mouse controller, it allows the gamer to press on button and perform action sounds effects. We also have the main windows that allow the button to be rendered on the screen and aggregate the mouse control. The main class here aggregate both game panel and main windows. So now for the sprint 4, I work on the game levels. Here is the user chart story for that. As a game level, I require the gamer to kill current enemy so that he can get to the next level of the game. So here is an example. This is the shooter. Whenever he kills all those enemies, he's at the level 1. He now goes from level 1 to level 2. So as for the second user chart story, as a game level, when the last boss enemy is killed, the game ends. So there is a winning message that appears with the scores. And as a game level, when the gamer is killed, the game is ended, and it comes with a losing message and the score. So here is the use case diagram for that. Basically, the player start the game and he goes straight to levels, and he progresses through the levels until the game ends. When the game ends, that means that either the gamer has lost the game or win the game. That's why we have the extension here for both wins and lose the game. And he always has the opportunity to restart the game either when he's in the current level or when it ends by include the restart option here. So this is all for the use case diagram. For the sequence diagram, the player can launch the game. When he launches the game, he presses on start and he runs the first levels. If he fails, he goes back to the current level and a losing message appears. If he completes the level, if he completes the level, the game displays the next level. So if he completes all the levels, then the uh, the game display the winning message for the level completed, which is the final level. So as far as the criteria is concerned, so basically the level method is built on the game data and use the game panel which aggregate game data. The main Windows use method that displays the main Windows use this method that display level on the screen and it aggregates game panel. For the sprint 5, I work on the treasure boxes. As a treasure box, I want to appear on the screen so that the gamer can notice me easily. So this is an example of treasure boxes here. And as a treasure box, I want to include secret items so that the gamer finds secret item and pick it up. So this is an example here. Whenever the shooter has destroyed the treasure boxes, secret item appears, and whenever the the gamer pick it up, it goes straight to the inventory boxes. So how it works? Basically, I use a factory design patterns. So I create treasure boxes object without exposing the creation logic, and I refer to the newly treasure boxes object using the common interface, the bonus figures here. Our bonus factory that you see here will use the bonus figure to get a bonus object. So basically for the bonus factory here, to get one of those objects, it will request it to the bonus figures that is here. And this is actually the interface. And this interface aggregate the bonus factory. The bonus figure will pass information to the bonus factory to get the type of treasure boxes it needs. So this is all for the class diagram. And last, we have the sequence diagram. So the bonus factory here will request the bonus, the treasure boxes to the bonus figures, and the bonus figures will request one of the treasure boxes through his concrete classes that are here. They are all inherited. They are all inherited from the bonus figures, and whenever I get it from the bonus figures, now the bonus figures is able to send it back to the bonus factory. This is all I have for this final presentation. I hope you guys have enjoyed the game and all the videos we made so far. Thank you for watching this one and have a great day.